Knowledge is greatness.
Hey man, what's up? You already know what it is, man. It's your man Richie Evans, live and direct, and you in tune to the I Only Touch Greatness podcast. Make sure you holler at me. You know what it is, Richie.
You ain't know what time it is, my nigga. Fly shit on. You know what I mean? Richie. Go. That nigga Richie from Phoenix, he got the city poppin'. He known across the globe from Dallas to Compton. He was signed to the game, but then he grew up. Now in that executive role, picking a shoot up. Couple bitches around, really trying to choose up. That oyster perpetual rollie busting his shoot up. Fly as a dime, Kobe Bryant / LeBron. That should explain the type of wave that I'm on. Supreme living, elite ambition, Coleco vision. Under them's is my secret mission. Yeah. Knowing my purpose, standing above the surface, watching for these fakes, snakes, jakes, and serpents. Yeah, I'm trying to win at the top tier and bring the title to my city home this year. Everything that I'm speaking is facts. My next move is hanging plaques off rap. Yeah, that.
Anyways, shawty, I'm blowing up your phone. I'm trying to get to you, yeah, 'cause the feeling's so strong, baby.
It's like, been on the grind for a minute, baby, just ride it out. There's not a situation that we can't iron out. I'm on a different type of level in life. I'm on that upper echelon, I'm trying to make you a wife. It's a secret society, all we ask is trust. Respect is everything and loyalty is a must. My name, hold weight, gotta move different. Put the rock on your hand, that's a cool ticket. Commit. I ain't into really wasting your time. I'ma love you till the day that I die. Oh my, oh my. I ain't into really wasting your time. I'ma love you till the day that I die. Oh my, for you, yeah. Let me talk that shit. There's really not too many niggas quite like Rich. Been compared to the greats, like Hov, like Nip, Kendrick Lamar. Plus I got balls like Tip, cordially. My respect means more to me than faking on my wave like you really here supported G. I'm really hotter than your favorite rapper. I'm really realer than your favorite rapper. Check the stats, nigga. I'm 5 mics plus 1, that's no facade. Only name mentioned of mine is Biggie and Nas. On God, I'm a motherfucking problem. Any situation I'ma solve. Rich. I said they knew rap, Richie is the AI. I got a Baron Davis flow and that's a warrior's drive. Russell Crowe with the pen like a beautiful mind. Put the M to your brim, more the K to your spine, bitch. I got a heavy hand, it's steady and ready, fam. In the burner, we'll turn him into a memory, man. Juice is a real spitter, not a bullshitter. I put the heat to your man to make it cooler, nigga. I got the G to deal, that means I'm eating well. It's Black Ball and Juice up in this bitch for real. I get it poppin', homie, I'm about to lock it, homie. I'm about to drop 81, not a shot to Kobe. I'm the only, homie. Crazy, fuck it, let's get it.
Right,
Definitely.
So let's get started. So born in Phoenix, what was childhood like for you growing up?
Man, you know, for me, man, it was cool. You know what I'm saying? I was born in Philly, but I was raised in Phoenix. You know what I mean? You know, I kind of went through the typical situation that a lot of young adolescents went through. I mean, of course, I had to go through the broken home, you know what I mean, situation, living with my mom and having to, you know, grow up a little bit early. But, you know, I wouldn't change it for the world, man. It definitely helped me cater to who I am right now. So, you know, growing up was definitely a blessing.
Did you play any sports?
Oh, I did. I was super nice, man. I used to play basketball. I really was him.
Okay. And when did you know that you wanted to start taking music seriously?
Man, you know, what's crazy is I used to do it in high school, just, you know, freestyling and just kind of putting my thoughts in the air. But when I went to college, man, I think that's when I kind of started taking it serious. You know, I think around that particular time, man, you know, people was really just taking heed to what I was saying. You know what I mean? I started harnessing little crowds here and there. You know what I mean? People want me to perform at, you know, local events and stuff like that. So I definitely got to say, in college is when I definitely started taking it serious and, you know, started taking it a little bit further than how I did in high school.
And last one, then I'll throw it to Prince. Who are some of your early influences that made you like model your game after or craft after?
Man, of course, you know what I'm saying, at that time, you know, my uncle lived with me at the time. He was older. He used to always play NWA and Ice Cube. Like, that was the first entry level of me hearing, you know, hip hop music. You know what I mean? of course, you know what I'm saying, then the Nas's start coming. You know what I mean? Nas was definitely influential in my style. AZ, T.I., Game, you know what I'm saying? Game,
Yep.
of course. So I definitely had some dope influences that kind of helped me cater my style from.
I got a couple questions about the game and Black Wall Street because, like, oh yeah, hang on, Prince's turn, but we're gonna get to that.
Okay. Since we're talking about, you know what I'm saying, like going back this, you know what I'm saying, that time phase, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
when you listening to Ice Cube and you listening to all these songs, you know what I mean? What song always pops in your head when you go back to them days?
Man,
Inspired. Like what song?
there's a couple. I would say NWA was 100 miles and running. You know what I'm saying? That's one. Ice Cube, No Vaseline was definitely one.
Yeah.
Nas, you know what I'm saying? The World Is Yours was definitely one. T.I., King.
Oh yeah.
Who else? Game, Dreams.
Oh man, that was my shit.
Man, listen, that record was so classic, my boy. Like, you know, I know Game gets a lot of flack from some of the, off industry antics that he kind of deals with on a day-to-day basis, but people got to realize, man, he definitely still has one of the dopest albums to ever come out in hip hop.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially in the LA, you know, West Coast and just a part of hip hop, you know what I mean? Like that documentary, like nothing ever been like that close to ever doing that, you know what I'm saying? And you have to look at it like the West Coast needed that. Like
absolutely.
Right after Exhibit, you know what I'm saying? Because they were gonna try to have Exhibit to be that, and they thought he was, but he went to Pimp My Ride and he wanted to get in that. Absolutely. He came in just in time for that.
Yeah.
Like
And he delivered what was needed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He delivered with that. So yeah, for sure the documentary.
So I'm a huge fan of Game. I've been following I've always tried to get to as close to the Game as possible. So I've always been fans of you, Rich Rocker, your boy, that's our buddy.
Yeah.
And then, which I don't know if you remember him, right?
Absolutely. That's my guy. Your boy. Your boy's my guy. I tap in with him from time to time. We all still have a respect and somewhat of a communication, even though we're all kind of doing what we do. But yeah, man, shout out to your boy. Shout out to New Jersey Devil. Shout out to Menace. You know, shout out to the Black Wall, man, for sure.
Yeah. So Black Wall Street Journal.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Yeah, we had Glasses and DJ Ski. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, one of the legendary DJs of Black Wall Street.
DJ Ski's my idol. Basically, I spent my whole life trying to be like DJ Ski. So
he's the one. Man.
He is. He definitely is. Black Wall Street Journal, I think, is one of the best mixtapes of all time. There's so many good songs on there. You go all the way through. We Out Here is one of your songs, and then that's a banger. But my favorite one out of them all is the Cypher, because it's got your boy, K Dot, fucking Game, Dub.
Yep. Yeah, like that was a moment of time when we all was just trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, now you look at Kendrick, he's probably the face of hip hop. You know what I mean? Kendrick's probably the biggest name out. Shout out to J-Rock. He went multi-platinum and did his thing. You know what I'm saying? Your boy, went off to do, monumental things. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the process of doing monumental things. So definitely the stable of Black Wall Street definitely was a good one, for sure.
That's for sure. Definitely was. How did you first meet Game? And is it like the interlude on the album where you're talking about, he gave you a demo and he said, "What's your name?" Your Juice.
Yeah. He was in Phoenix at the time working on his album with Swiss Beats. Back then, Phoenix had a very high representation of the Rough Riders. DMX moved out there, Swiss Beats moved out there. You know what I mean? A lot of the motorcycle team from, the Rough Riders moved out there. You know what I mean? So I was just, man, like I said, on my way leaving the studio, and I see this Lamborghini parked outside in front of the club. I walked in and I seen it was Swizz and Game. I had one demo in my pocket, gave it to him. He asked me what my name was. I said it a million times, so he understood. And the the next day, man, I got a plane ticket and a phone call, and it was Blackwall ever since.
Oh, dude, awesome. Yeah, there was so many gems on that CD. So many good ones. Can you tell me one good game story? Because I may never get to talk to him, so I would love to know one cool story that's not a bad one. I'm a big fan of him, so just good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Shit, there's so many, man.
What a road story.
Shit, we was in Paris. And we're about to start the tour, and we all get our checks. You know what I mean? And everybody's pockets is, hella big. We all got to shoot dice. So I'm shooting against game at the time, and I'm winning. And I'm feeling myself a little bit too much. And I put it all on the line. I was like, man, there's 15 grand right there running. And he gave me an out. He was like, nah, I ain't gonna take your money, champ. I said, nah, let's run it. You know what I mean? He beat me. So he took all my money at the time, and I'm in Paris, mind you. And 24 hours later, he came to my room and he gave me my money back. You know what I mean? But he just told me, don't ever fuck with the big dog. So, the lesson learned was he was the big dog, of course. He could have kept my money, but he was a big brother and he gave it back. So I salute him for that.
So another friend in common also, as you were talking about that's probably the same trip that you did the London freestyle with Black Boy, Reggie P.
Yeah. Shout out Reggie P. Shout out my guy, Reggie P, man. Yeah, man, we definitely been across the globe together and definitely did some things, man. We used to freestyle at the drop of a hat just to kind of gain our respect, man, and just kind of let people know who we was, Definitely shout out to everybody, who went on that trip.
Yeah, so I remember that. It sounded and looked good too.
For sure.
Prince, go ahead, bud.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, it's always good to know them gems and working with the game. I know it's had to be dope. Tell us a little bit of like working with DJ Ski too. Like how's it like being with Ski, man? He's so talented, man, and he's one of the people I put as like the same as the rest of the DJs, like DJ Drama at that point.
Yeah.
Like he had his shit, he had his moments. Like tell us a little bit about DJ Ski and shout out to DJ Ski.
Man, shout out to my bro. The coolest white boy I know, DJ Ski.
That's me. That's me.
Yeah, absolutely. You're borderline with him right now.
Yeah, I'm working my way in.
Got to do it. Ski was just, Ski was just a person who was a million miles ahead. You know what I mean? He was definitely a visionary. Ski is the reason why, Juice had a buzz. You know what I mean? That, Compton Menace had a buzz. You know what I mean? He really flooded the with a lot of product. You know what I mean? He made sure that a lot of the local DJs and international DJs had our music. And, he made sure that he pushed it to the max. You know what I mean? There wouldn't be a Black Wall Street without a DJ Ski. Truthfully speaking, there even wouldn't be a game without a DJ Ski. You know what I mean?
And definitely wouldn't be 300 Bars, which is like the greatest diss song ever.
Absolutely.
Man, like just seeing those, them type of mixtapes, like, and being a part of that, like my homeboy right now, like I love Nip. Like, have you ever met Nip? Like, how dope was it meeting Nip? And you know what I'm saying? Tell us a little story of you and Nip.
Man, Nip was my guy. I remember I was in the studio working on the project, and I hit him at like maybe 2:33 in the morning. I'm like, Nip, I'm in your city. I'm at the studio. Pull up on me. I need you. You know what I mean? Come up on this. So he pulled up. We ended up like speaking for like an hour and a half, man. Nip was a visionary. He was a man who stood on business, man. He knew where he wanted to go. He was a person who was way ahead of his time. You know what I mean?
Right.
He definitely was, a person who just, seen things from a far vision, man. And it's unfortunate, what I'm saying, the unfortunate situation that happened to him, RIP. But like, Nip definitely gave me motivation and helped me see this industry for what it was. You know what I mean? He stood on business, he stood on principles. You know what I mean? And he stood on being a solid cat. And if you got those things going through this industry, man, you know what I mean? You can't miss.
Right. And I wanted to get on your new shit, like some of your new shit, like Knock the Hustle with Vito. Like how's it working with him? You know what I'm saying? Like you back in the bag. So how dope is it, making shit like that?
You have a couple with him though.
Vito, sure. Now Vito is definitely my dog. Like I said, I met him working on the project, and we end up just building a personable relationship. You know what I mean?
Right.
I was definitely a fan of his, and he was definitely a fan of mine. And when we end up coming together, man, you know what I'm saying? We just made dope, high quality music. You know what I mean? And that even goes to say even my guy J Rock. I got J Rock on the Highly Favored EP. Him and my guy Eastside K Boy, we got a record called Pressure. That's ones. I try to surround myself and align myself with people that motivate and bring the best out you. You know what I mean?
Right.
What would Nip say? I don't stress out, nigga. It brings the best out, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta align yourself with people like that, man, to reach those next levels and goals of success.
Well, what about the rebrand where you went from Juice to Juice McCain to now Richie Evans? Well, can you tell me why or what happened there?
A couple things. You know what I'm saying? The first thing is the Wall Street was going through a lot of turmoil at the time. I think that we was being portrayed in a negative light. You know what I mean? Game was having his, ultimate feud with 50, and, the management, Jimmy Hinchman, was going through a federal indictment case. And
what I
mean? And even also with that is like, I felt like when Game picked me up, he stamped me so hard that I didn't have an identity of my own. You know what I mean? Like everything was, oh, that's Juice, that's Game's artist, or it wasn't like that's Juice, he's dope. You know what I mean? And people got to realize, Game's success and Game's beam of light was so big that, if I didn't come up from under that, I would have never had the ability to stand on my own. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been through the trenches. You know what I mean? I felt like my skill set and the knowledge that I've gained from the Black Wall, that I was strong enough and able to stand on my own and create and start my own team in Plateau. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's all it was. I mean, there's no beef or there's no love lost with me and my bro. I mean, I talk to him pretty frequently from time to time. But right now, I'm popping shit right now. You feel me? I'm out here. My records are smashed. You know what I mean? We out here
everywhere.
Absolutely. We out here putting on, and we doing shit at a high level.
Yeah, okay. Right. And go ahead, Prince. Shoot one.
No, I was just about to say, right, man. I mean, it's good once you create your own buzz, because now you know what you need to do instead of, I understand, like, it's cool to soak in a lot of game and, be your own leader, because that's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? It's about being your own leader when you come in these type of platforms, because if you go as a follower, you might get too lost, you know what I'm saying? Because you're only looking for the leader, you know what I mean? So it's always good. So one of the things, like back in the Wall Street days, what would have fixed that needed to be fixed, and like in a music type point?
One, I would have to say the camaraderie a little bit. You know what I mean? I think that, like I said, we all solid, we all fuck with each other, but I think that, even outside of music, there has to be an honest level of interaction. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, let's have a team barbecue or team pool party, or, hey, grab your lady or grab your kids and let's go to the park and, rent out the Sunsplash, or, you know what I mean? I think that we definitely needed more things like that. And I think that I think we all needed to kind of humble ourselves a little bit more with each other. I mean, I was a super egotistical cat on go. Everybody was popping at that time, so we all had a little bit of extra excitement that kind of came with us. You know what I mean? Right. And I think that kind of hurt us a little bit. We all should have you know, went on more tours together, you know what I mean? Collabed on more mixtapes together, did more records and features, been there for one another, even though, you know, Game was going through what he was going through. I think as a team, if we would have done that, that would have kind of helped sustain the Wall Street where it needed to be. You know what I mean? Because when everything started happening in the game, I think we all just kind of crumbled and went with the punches at that point and went our separate ways.
Right. I mean, I really like the intro on Highly Flavored. You killed that first intro. Like, you know, intro's got to be like that. The intro's got to be dry, pulling you in, and you did that on that intro. I got it playing in the background. Oh, actually, not at the moment. But, But yeah, tell us about that. Making that album, the whole album, Highly Flavored, is pretty awesome.
No, I mean, I think that I needed to address that. You know, I think that the silence and the quiet that I went on for so long and didn't say anything, I think people were starting to make their own assumption on me and his relationship. You know what I mean? Like I said, there was nothing wrong. It just, like I said, little monkey turns gorilla. You know what I mean? Eventually, you know what I mean? He wants to grow. I want to grow. You know, I knew that I couldn't lean on him so much because he was still fighting for his own career. You know what I mean? He was still, you know, fighting the G Unit situation, still fighting with Jimmy Iovine. And, you know, I knew that he couldn't give me the attention that I needed to flourish. So I definitely needed just to kind of highlight that and let everybody know, like, nah, that's still my big brother. He taught me, he helped raise me in this industry, but there's no love lost. I just stood on my own and got it from here.
That's true. And then that video also, Can't Knock the Hustle, obviously with Rick Ross. It's going all over the place right now. I'm hearing it everywhere. Right. And the video looked fun.
Yeah, it was dope. You know what I'm saying? It felt good. You know, Ross pulled up and, you know, we just had an organic time, man. You know, we just did a lot of boss shit. The record came out fire. I'm glad that the world and people perceived it the way that we wrote it. And like I said, it's definitely buzzing in, you know, these streets right now, heavy.
Right. And speaking of Rose, you know what I'm saying? You know, he had the stuff on deck and how he always do it. Like any dope behind the scenes story, you know what I'm saying? How's the vibe with Rose?
Man, it's crazy because me and Rose is just organically hit it off. You know what I mean? Like, you know, come from that same pedigree, you know what I mean? Cool nigga energy. You know what I mean? It just fits. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, he showed up and showed out. I did the same thing. And, you know, we end up just, you know, building a bond and building a personable and work relationship, man, that I think that people are starting to see bigger and bigger each day. You know what I mean? I think that people is like, yo, like, you know, Ross and Richie is kind of popping out here. You know what I mean? So definitely shout out to Rose, man, just for even, you know, believing in the boy and really, you know, liking the record and jumping on it and helping me push it to the world.
Hey, I was about to ask you, what was one of your favorite Rose songs? Mine's back in the days was King of Diamonds off of that mixtape.
And mine was Mafia Music, off of Deeper Than Rap. You know what I'm saying? Deeper Than Rap to me was probably one of my top 5 albums of all time. To me, I just thought it was put together right, musically, sonically, like it was just super dope.
And I have to go back to fucking his original song they came out with back in the day. I think he gave it to me on the mix, Hustling.
Hustling? You talking about Port of Miami?
It was back then when I was still doing mixtapes. I was given that song, like a remix to it, and I was to put it on one of my mixtapes out here in Canada.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I had the CD. I had that CD. Matter of fact, when I was in Miami, man, I remember seeing the promotional van of Port of Miami. Yeah, and I was over there in I think it was a North Beach. I think it was South Beach. Tell you the truth, they was over there chilling, and I was looking. I was like, "Hey, this Ross's promotional van." He's like, I forgot who it was at that time. He was like, "Yup." I was like, "Oh shit, that's cool." You know what I mean? Like, the motherfucker was heavy. You know what I'm saying? Over there in Miami, because I got people in Miami from P-Ron. So when I seen that, I was like, "Oh, that's dope."
No, Ross definitely put in his time and put in his work. I mean, he's definitely became one of the most respected in this industry. And I think that is showing. You know what I mean? I think that he really doesn't get caught up in the matrix, man. He really focuses on the music and focuses on the rollout, and he pretty much delivers every time.
So are you close to? You still stay in Arizona? I assume it looks like you are.
Yeah. Actually, I'm out of town right now, but yeah.
Oh.
I still live in AZ. Yeah, you know.
Yeah,
I'm out here
okay.
on
Like Scottsdale, because I fucking love Scottsdale.
No, Scottsdale's popping. Whenever you come to the city, you gotta let me take you out there, man. Women got great titties and they love champagne. Come on.
Yeah, fuck, that'd be sweet. Yeah.
I was about to say, he loved titties. I know you love me. I think you're a titty guy.
Yeah. I know where to go. I went to like Old Town Scottsdale, and it was like a nice little strip in there at Dirk's Bentley Whiskey Bar. It's like a club, but across the street, whatever the hell is across the street, really nice.
Right. I'm a big booty bitch. So I need a big booty bitch when I come. You know what I'm saying? Bottles on deck. You know what I mean? Fuck it.
Hey, Prince, I got a special guest dropping in here.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
we got
Richie,
a special
this one's
guest.
for you. Richie, this one's for you. Oh, yeah.
We got a partner that's going to come and show love to you, man. Another talented person. You know what I mean? Unconventional Kings, man. The homeboy, High Def.
Oh, that's my man. He's definitely my man. What's up, baby?
Big bro, what's happening, bro?
Hey, King Richie.
Def, what's up, baby?
What's up with it, man? I had to. They told me I could drop in on you, man, and
absolutely.
I had to do this because so when Richie did, I'm gonna tell a super quick story.
Yeah.
When Richie was debuting the video with Ross, he had a private function. I don't know if y'all talked about this already, but it was a mansion party, and everybody got to go in and view the video. You know what I mean? And then afterwards, he did an interview, and surprised the hell out of me because at the end of this interview, he stops everything and he's like, "Hold on, real quick," and then he pointed me out in the crowd, man, and we're such a new act to be standing in a who's who in this town and to have him recognize me like that. It was a dope moment. And he got real busy after that. So I didn't really get to thank him for that. And even since then, he's been really solid. And before that, he's just always been really supportive, man. And that's what we feel like kings really are. You know what I mean? Like an unconventional king does, somebody that loves to be in the company of other kings. And there's no jealousy or envy or anything that comes with that. It's about mindset and you know how dedicated you're going to be to moving, and you know me and Richie are kind of connected by a lot of people, you know what I mean? And I don't want to get into Still Thunder because I don't know what y'all talked about already.
No, go for it.
No, go for it, man.
Mercedes, for one, you know, she's been around Richie for a really long time, and you know, she's told me a lot about Richie over the years before we ever even got into music. Right. But his manager, Inglewood Muggs, is just a guy that anytime somebody asks me to describe Muggs, because you could catch Muggs at a time where his gruffness might come out, and you might feel a certain kind of way about it, and he don't care. But what I was with Muggs, every time that I think about him, I think the word that comes to mind is honorable.
Absolutely.
He's literally one of the most honorable men. When you look at him, he doesn't have to come in and command respect, and he just walks and moves in a way that has allowed him to garner respect in an industry where, you know what I mean, it's few and far between what that circle really is like and how people move. So I was so fortunate to kind of see from the very beginning that relationship with Richie and Muggs start to happen. Yeah, because if I'm not mistaken, I think you guys had a meeting in Tempe, you know what I mean, at a Tech Nine show there.
Yeah.
For the show, and I saw y'all walking off, and I looked at Mercedes, and she was like, "Yep," and I was like, "Okay, all right." This when you take somebody like him that has everything, and he's so polished, and then you take a guy who you will never find in a room with a sucker ever, ever, and have that legendary Rolodex and respect. You just knew if anything, Richie was going to go the direction that he wanted to go. And then you could just see it happen. You know, highly favored, you know, all the songs that are on it, the playability of it, everything is very calculated. Everything is done for a reason. No wasted motion. You know what I mean? So, so I wanted to come on and give you some flowers, man. I think Richie Evans, I heard him say in another video not too long ago when he was talking about infrastructure out here in Phoenix. and he was talking about somebody being able to go out and really create a spotlight big enough to talk about his town in a national kind of a way and fill in some of the blanks and, you know, let people really know what it is down here. And I think that's what really can make you the king of your city, man. And I know that that's not what you focused on, you know what I mean? But, you know, it might just come with it.
No, like I said, I'm just, truthfully trying to do my part, you know what I'm saying, to just highlight and to do my part just to highlight, man, and get us the national exposure and, respect that I think that we all want and need. You know what I mean? We come from a city where, niggas can get catty and, shit can get kind of weird, but, I don't really, entertain that type of energy. You know what I'm saying? I got a bigger goal and I got a bigger resolution that I'm trying to touch in a short amount of time. And I think that, people are starting to at least understand and, respect that from my way,
Yes, man. And I think that a lot of times people don't understand, like when I see you moving with Ross, you know what I mean, on a pretty regular basis. And I think people see those kind of things from the outside sometimes, and the value that they see in that relationship is some sort of clout, or the pictures that yesterday, or where they saw me, I was here. And it's really not. It's the conversations that are happening behind the scenes that say, hey, when I hit this bump, this is the way that I did it. And this is the guy. And the reason why you're in the room with them has nothing really to do with your music, as good as it is. It's your character.
Absolutely.
It's your character. You cannot be in the room. You could have the best music in the world. You're not allowed to be there if you don't have character. So seeing that happen and seeing little things get put into place and understanding that, yo, I'm here because this is where the action is. Tech always says, be available.
Yeah.
If you don't have a mic in your hand or you're not in front of a microphone, be available.
Yeah, real talk.
You know what I mean? So, and seeing that, I'll call Richie, man. Me and Richie invited me to his party, and that was one of the times that we were able to connect, because I'll hit Richie and he's on a plane going someplace else. And he'll hit me and I'm on a plane going someplace else. And eventually we'll come together, because I sent him a record. Oh, man, y'all say something to him.
y'all got a record. That would be. Hey, we need that, because I'm seeing both of y'all on fire. You know what I'm saying? And and High Def, you already know I've been tapping in on the lives, brother, and I'm hearing all this great music. I'm like, yo, it'd be good. I mean, I'm getting good at marketing nowadays. That sound like a good idea. You know what I'm saying? To hear that.
Holler at me, man. I want to make sure. I'm honored to come on here, man. I want to make sure that we highlight the hell out of Richie Evans, though, man. Richie Evans, man. I'm telling you, when we very first started putting stuff out, Richie would hop into our comments. You know what I mean? When we very first started doing anything, Richie would hit me on a DM on some real shit. You know what I mean? And then out of nowhere, he had my number from Mercedes, and he's giving me advice and, that kind of stuff that you just don't have to do, man. You know what I mean? We got all kinds of demands on our time and stuff like that. And I'll go in and look, man, and I got 93 unreturned texts, and you know what I mean? And I can't even only imagine with him, the way that they're moving right now, what that's got to be him. So when he takes time and does that, you just understand that those, that's like Ross just said something like that, didn't he? Like, if your people don't support you, then man, they don't really rock with you in the end. You know what I mean?
They really don't. Facts.
So Richie does that, man, and I just felt honored, that I love your guys' podcast. I was on here with Crooked, was on here before. We had Tech on here before, and to know that my guy B Style is over there with y'all. And
shout out to B.
Yeah. Here I was going to interview Richie, man. I really wanted to come on from a perspective of somebody that maybe people don't see all the time in Phoenix or don't hear about all the time in the music world. That the way that Richie is moving in this industry is what's accelerating this move. It's what's happening, man. It's the way that he moves with, this calculated precision with really well done music, man. They was mixing his album. How long was y'all mixing your album for, Richie? You had been mixing it for months.
Man, yeah, no, it took some time. I mean, you got to understand, I went to Ali from TDE. You know what I'm saying? He mixed J-Rock's album, SZA's album. I'm big on, just a certain level of quality. You know what I'm saying? To be respected as one of the best or one of the new, people to try to get your name out there, you got to follow in the likes of some of those people. You know what I mean? I.e., same with like you in tech. You know what I'm saying? You're learning, you're studying from a GOAT. You know what I mean? So the expectation for you is high. You know what I mean? Same for myself. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it is kind of crazy how fast me and Ross hit it off, but people see it like, man, like they formed a real honest, you know what I mean, organic relationship fast. You know what I mean? And Ross supports, pretty much everything that I'm doing. You know what I mean? And he gives me a lot of guidance and game, you know what I mean, to help further, you know what I'm saying, my career.
Yeah, man. And it shows, but it also shows, like I said, I think those people understand, people like Ross and Tech, when they take time like that and they put us in a position where somebody might say, oh, this is the reason why they're there. When in reality, yeah, man, this is exactly the reason why we're sitting here. Because there's something that they see a value in giving their time, space, energy, attention to. Right. You know what I mean? Like when you catch a moment and you can, somebody catches a candid photograph of you and Ross, it's never on some, hey, as fly as you motherfuckers are already. It's never on no, it always looks like a conversation like, hey man, and look what I did this. Or look at this here, man. I remember when this was this. You can see it in the body language.
Absolutely.
How'd you get to deal with Nike?
What's crazy is how I did that was I just did the music because they end up creating a shoe called Nike Trunner 1. And at that particular time, they was looking for an artist to create the music for it. You know what I mean? And it was probably one of the biggest highlights of my life, man. The check was great, but just, to know that I was able to collab with, a brand like Nike just speaks volumes, bro.
And then you got a Vitamin Water as well.
Yeah, Vitamin Water went on a national city tour, and they was looking for some of the up and coming artists in some of these cities, Phoenix, LA, Denver, you know what I'm saying? And they was giving a few artists a certain platform and a certain look, you know what I mean, to kind of help, create, a buzz and a look in their town. So I'm always indebted to Nike and always indebted to Vitamin Water, man, because they definitely gave me a professional platform to build off of.
Yeah. You know what's so crazy? Like I will always like going back to these type of phases because I always feel like a kid again. Like if back in the days,
right?
Which one of the videos, you know what I'm saying? The VJs and all that, like and TV Raz to Video Music Box to hell, even Direct Effect. What platform would you want to be if to premiere your video at that time? Oh yeah, Rap City in Basement.
I get that. It would so two. I'm gonna give you two. It would have had to be 106 in Park, and it would have had to be Rap City the Basement. And,
those are the good days.
106 in Park was a broad platform. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen 106 in Park turn ordinary artists to superstars. You know what I'm saying? That was like a prime time effect. Even throw TRL in there. That made you an icon if you made it on TRL. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But and definitely Rap City the Basement. You know what I mean? I think that people like myself and Unconventional Kings, like cats who are really rappers, you know what I mean? That showcased that gave us the platform to showcase the ability of us really rapping. You know what I mean?
Right.
Really going bar for bar and really leveling up to show people like, hey, Buddy's not just no, you know what I'm saying, no, radio rapper. You know what I mean? Buddy can go bar to bar with some of the, elites out here. So I definitely would have to say TRL, 106 in Park, and Rap City the Basement.
Man, y'all know what Richie would have killed on?
Which one?
Richie would have killed on the Wake Up Show back in the day.
Ooh, Sway and Tech. Ooh.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Richie would have. They would have put one of them super smooth. They could have put anything on. Richie would have killed in that era on the Wake Up Show, man.
Man, yeah. Shout out to Sway.
Yeah, big shout out to Sway.
And what's crazy is you can say that. That's how you can know that he is an artist that's gonna transcend things like, a whole lot of different age demographics and stuff like that, because he could have rapped on the Wake Up Show, and that was in the mid 90s. And we're in 2023, and he's making records with arguably one of the most successful people in the history of hip hop. And would have been there in the 90s as well. Yeah. You know what I mean? And there's only so many of those, what Tech calls them, a la cards. Eminem, Busta Rhymes. You talking about guys that rapped from their 20s to now into their 50s, which means that you were able not only to transcend all of the different changes, styles, fads, you completely created something that was your own. Yes, you know what I mean? And the only way that you can do that is if you can have somebody that's sitting there. I've seen it in this city, man. They pull up next to you and they're literally bumping that song, and it could be anybody. You turn to your left, it could be an 18-year-old kid, it could be a 45-year-old dude sitting there. And that's how you know when you really got something. That's why Rick Ross says yes to a song.
Absolutely.
Because he sees that, boom, this is way, way, way bigger than just trying to catch lightning in a bottle with a fad on the radio for 3 months. You know what I mean? And then have a label or something tell you that they spent $1 million on it to get you on the radio for 3 months, and it wasn't. You know what I mean? Like all of that, those types of games, man. It just Richie's ability will takes that shit out of the equation.
What was one of your favorite venues you've ever performed in?
Man, I got there's a lot, brother. You know what I mean?
I know those European tours are nuts.
Yeah. I gotta say the O2. You know what I'm saying? The O2 over there in Europe is definitely one. I definitely gotta say the Marquee. I like rocking at the Marquee Theater in Phoenix, Celebrity Theater as well. What's the spot? The Nokia, is it the Nokia in LA now, or did they change it? The Nokia Center over there in like the Staples Center. So I mean, I've had the opportunity, man, to bless some real major stages, man. So I definitely don't take that for granted at all. You know what I mean?
People forget that you were in One Blood.
Yeah.
Oh,
Blood, Let's Ride.
I missed that question earlier.
Yeah, One Blood, Let's Ride. What was the joint with Kanye? Wouldn't Get Far.
Shout out to Miss Gloria Velez on the legs like Gloria Velez.
Stop talking about Gloria Velez. That was my video crush, boy.
Man, me too, man. Shit. Hey, I'm gonna tell you a little story about her. Hey, I have on my book, and I was like, "Oh, go ahead."
Hold on, before you do. I have a story too, but I can't tell it.
Oh shit! No exclusives like that. Hey, shout out to Gloria, because Gloria is on my Facebook and Snapchat. Like, she's dope and real as fuck, man. Like, you wouldn't even think. You'd be like, damn, this mother, and smart. Like, don't let the good looks fool you. Like, she's smart as motherfucker. Like, she know. Like, but. Like you get shit like that. Like, how was it like being a part of that? And first of all, like, how is it being a part with like Kanye West? You know what I'm saying? How was Kanye like? You know what I'm saying?
No. Ye is Ye. You know what I'm saying? I just think that people kind of, people, Ye is a genius, brother. You know what I'm saying? Musically,
exactly. Right.
Don't get me. And, he has his own personal problems and emotions that we all go through. But, he's definitely a dope individual. That whole era, man, was just big for me. Like I said, it was a learning curve. I was on set, but I was also studying. You know what I mean? I was learning from Ye. I was learning from Game. I was really, picking, I was asking Gloria, a million questions. You know what I'm saying? I remember, I was asked her about Hove because she told me that Jay-Z was her favorite rapper. And I was like, well, what was... what is it about Hove that, makes you like him so much? And, she was just like, his characteristic and traits are so solid. He's just so solid that, you can't do nothing but respect how he move and what he's about. You know what I mean? So definitely, man, like I said, take all of those experiences in times, man, and appreciate them, because they don't really happen to too many people.
Right. Was you there at the shooting at Hot 97? No,
I came after that.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
All right, I got one. So, like, because I know you've been with Game.
Right.
What is one of the songs that you could have got on that you was like, damn, I should have got on that motherfucker. I knew I should have got on it. What was one of the songs that he tried to pass to you?
No, so man, I don't even like talking about this story. So we was working when we was working on my album. Me and your boy, he had me and your boy working on our album at the same time, and he had your boy. So he had Cool and Dre fly in to work with both of us. So I think on Monday he was in, Tuesday I was in. So when I walk in, Cool was like, "Yo, I got the first single," and I was like, "All right, bet. What is it?" It's called Street Rider. And I was like, Street Rider, and he was like, "Man, it features Akon and Nas."
Yeah.
Oh, what? So mind you, at that time, man, I'm a young, I'm still growing my bearings. So he ended up giving me the record, and and Nas already had his verse on it, mind you. Yeah. So at that particular time, man, I listened to it, and I was just so young and so memorized, like I couldn't even do it. Like I didn't even know how to start. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right,
your first introduction to the world, you got a record produced by Cool and Dre, Akon is on the hook, and Nas is on your third verse, and he's spazzing. And I remember to this day, I think a month went by. He's like, "You finish it?" I was like, "Nah, not yet." And truthfully speaking, I couldn't finish it. Like, I was so memorized, and then he ended up keeping the record and putting it out himself. And it's out. It's called Street Riders. And I will always regret that moment, because in all my life, I've always rose to the occasion. That's just how I'm built. You know what I mean? But that time, man, I don't know if it was just the Nas verse, but I was so starstruck and so in shambles, I didn't complete it. Crazy.
Man, I know that had to be crazy. Like being around with, getting a Nas verse. You just don't get a like Nas and Akon verse, and especially when they popping too. Like this was like the era when Akon was like one of the hooks. He was like close to with he was about to be up next with Nate Dogg. You know what I'm saying? If Nate Dogg wanted to retire, like Akon could have been that at that point in time. Like
absolutely.
What about Dream Venue? Is there a dream venue that you want to perform in one day?
Absolutely. I want to sell out this venue in Phoenix, downtown, called what's the Arizona Apollo? The Orpheum. I call it, you know what I'm saying? I call it the Arizona Apollo. It looks just like the Apollo, top and bottom, you know what I'm saying? Old school look. One of my goals is to sell that out by myself. You know what I'm saying? And of course, you know what I'm saying? Madison Square Garden. You know what I mean? Like, how could you not want to do that? Like, that's a hip hop dream to sell out the Mecca,
That's for sure. Even the hockey players, when we interview the hockey players, it's always Madison Square Garden.
Absolutely.
Hey, what about favorite piece of memorabilia? You used to have those sick chains back in the day. Like, do you have any piece of memorabilia you collected over the years?
Yeah, I still got all my Black Wall chains. I still got my Juice chain. I definitely keep all of my, jewelry memorabilia. Of course, I keep the first XXL issue I was in, Source magazine issue I was in. So I do got a couple pieces that I keep in my office that'll be forever.
Okay.
Hey Richie, you ever been starstruck by anybody before?
Nas.
On that song?
No.
Or you when you met him?
I mean, Nasir Jones is just
Yeah, I met him at a concert, and he dapped me up, and he let me rock with him side by side on stage one night, and it was just an unforgettable night. You know what I'm saying? Like, to be standing side by side.
Did you get to tell him that story?
No, hell no. No.
He was like, "Man, fuck no."
It kind of fits alongside the King's disease idea, right? You know what I mean? Like, Tech talked about it. He told me something one time. I'm not gonna say who the artist was. He didn't say who the artist was. I'll say that. But he had an artist one time that had asked him for a feature, and he said, "Yeah, I'll do it." And this is a really well-known dude.
Yeah.
And the guy sent him the record with nothing on it and said, "Bro, I don't really know where to start. I want to hear what you're gonna do first."
Yeah, facts. I mean, Tech is one of them ones.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Like,
I mean, Tech is somebody that, you know what I'm saying, you got to make sure you come prepared. You know what I mean? Because you will definitely chopped on real fast.
Right. It's like a monster. Chew up and spit them out. You know what I'm saying? A humble monster at that. You know what I mean? If you get ate up for a humble monster, I mean, shit. Hey, it happens. You know what I mean?
Bro,
how did the pandemic affect the purge?
The pandemic was dope for me, and what I mean by that is, it just helped me slow down. It helped me kind of get more in tune with myself. It kind of, helped me get my family and my business in order, which I think ultimately helped me make better music. You know what I'm saying? That definitely was the time when I started working on Highly Favored. Of course, I had some bumps and bruises through the time because everything was shut down. But that's where I initially started it. And then once we, ended up opening back up, then, yeah. We went full-fledged. So, yeah.
But Richie was pretty. If you weren't the first one, he had to be very close to one of the first ones out the gate when everything got moving again. They looked like they had been preparing.
For real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's just it. Most people, if you didn't sit around, most people didn't want to waste those 2 years where you're sitting around and at least come out with something.
Absolutely.
That's for sure. You guys want to shoot one? Oh, personal highlight. What's your personal highlight in your career so far?
Just having the ability to do what I do at a high level. You know what I mean? I think, for me to get the respect and the love that I get on a nationwide platform and people starting to believe and buy into the brand, into the business, I think that's, something money can't buy. You know what I mean? And doing it from a city that's, unknown.
Well,
I was about to ask
shoot one before.
I was about to ask this, man. If you could talk to the younger you, what would you tell him?
I keep it easy, man. Just you got to keep God first, believe in yourself, and execute. You know what I mean? Don't get caught up in the madness. You know what I'm saying? Don't get caught up in the bright lights. Don't get caught up in the forward motion. Just handle your business. You know what I mean? Like I said, man, this shit is not an overnight thing. You know what I mean? Go at your own pace, put your blueprint and your plan in order. Make sure you got the people around you that love and believe and support you that's going to uplift you when times get rough, because they definitely going to get rough, and go execute. You know what I mean? Like I said, man, all this shit is here for the taking for the people who are deserving and the people who put in the work, period.
So I actually got one more question. If you were having a dream dinner party and you can invite 3 other famous people that are alive, who do you want to bring to your table?
Man, can I give you 5?
Sure, even better.
Nas, Hove, Scarface, Tech 9, and I would have to say, did I say Ross already?
No.
And me. Those are people that I respect. Those are people that I believe in their business models. And those are people that I'm in business with now to an extent. And, I want to take it there, baby. That's it.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, that's a table full of super bosses, boy.
Ooh, that's an all-star right there. That's a fucking dynasty right there.
And this is how you know. This is how you know. And I don't know how well thought out if Richie was thinking about that answer before you asked him that or what. But it was literally like he formed a cabinet. Like this is the independent king right here. This is
right.
This is who I'm gonna go to for this.
So mind you, that's a very strategic reason why I named those people. I'm definitely taking a little bit of knowledge from each and every one of them, you know what I mean, to put into my own. So yeah, definitely.
What about a dream feature? Do you still have one?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's crazy. Whenever I say this, people laugh, but it's dead serious. My dream feature is Usher.
Ooh. Usher Raymond.
I mean,
Hey, ain't no wrong with that.
You got a lot of songs that I could hear him singing a hook on.
Absolutely. It's coming. It's coming.
Good. Manifesting it.
Yeah, it's coming.
I did not expect to hear that.
Yeah, no, Usher. No, I've been doing a record with Usher for so long. I think that shit'll break the net.
I think it'd be dope. Don't be wrong. That took me. I was way out of that. That really surprised me.
Absolutely.
Well,
Man.
We got to wrap her up pretty quick. Keep it under an hour. So
yeah.
So go ahead. Plug your stuff right now.
Man, I just want to say I just appreciate you guys sharing your platform with me, man. You know what I mean? I think that is super dope. You know what I mean? I appreciate you guys following me on my journey, you know what I'm saying, and buying into everything that we got going on. You know, anything or anytime you guys need me, man, you know what I'm saying? I'm definitely here for it. You know what I mean? All the listeners and viewers out there, make sure you get that new EP, Highly Favored. Make sure you get that new single right now called Can't Knock the Hustle, featuring none other my guy Rose. And you know, fuck with me. I'm going up all summer, man. For real.